Hey, everybody. So, yeah, I had a whole sermon. I had written about John 10:11 through 18, where Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. And I did this whole thing where the poets and the musicians and the singers are like the good shepherds. We don't wait for somebody to tell us to gather the people. We come knowing that our instruments, our voices, that we have to be instrumental in gathering people. And we are indeed the good shepherds. And we would rather tell your story before we tell our story. And in that way, we lay our life story on the line. Amen. And so I woke up this morning and said, I wanted to go back to tell the story of some of the people that I grew up with. The 14 women in the public housing apartments that I grew up in, single black women, the 14 absentee fathers, all of the children, all the boys, all the girls, all the grandmothers, all the people in North Oakland, at Bushrod, at Peralta Middle School, all of the girls who became women too quickly, all the boys who became men too quickly. And I wanted to read this story, this poem, also in honor of my brother, because this is kind of where it starts. And I need him to know that I will spend the rest of my life going back to get our stories. In our village, all the fathers, including mine as the story goes, were pulled out into the world to find foods, to find gods, to find riches. And only after they made their marks could they come home. None did. In our village, there were 20 mothers tending to the lands, planting the found fields of dirt that lay between rock and cement with collards and aloe. In our village, there were 20 mothers tending to the winds, hanging white clothes like surrendering flags across lines. In our village, there were 20 mothers who fought rats with warrior prowess, armed with nothing but a skillet, a trap, and a spare dab of peanut butter. In our village, boys forged weapons out of bicycle spokes and pipes and bragged about their fathers. Oh, mine is out battling the sea. And another said, mine is out hunting the beast, and mine is out building the tower. None of that was true. But in our village, boys fought back tears like mortal enemies when mama said, you're going to be just like your daddy when you grow up. In our village, childbirth taught girls into the rights of womanhood. In our village, there were women 13, 12, and 50 wishing for sons but praying for daughters. In our village, girls played with girls. Girls bled together crying, make it stop, mama, tears. In our village, all the girls wanted to be Sparkle and not Irene Cara, because all the girls could sing and always won the talent shows until the boys started doing the robot. In our village, grandmothers had houses and were all called Big Mama, and their favorite granddaughter called Lil Bit or Lil Mama. In our village, Big Mama always had candy and secrets hidden in her purse, butterscotches, and where all the men went, they knew what daughters and granddaughters didn't. In our village, grandmothers were high priestesses who with one finger stuck in a pot could turn water into gumbo. In our village, news traveled with eerie calm like storms that sneak. In our village, closed curtains and door shut too long told us who, told us what, told us where. In our village, walls were beat like war drums or tambourines. Walls were beat until spackle and plaster opened like windows and crashed like glass. But in our village, sun cornered into eyes and crusted like gold, only to be wiped away with weary fingers. And mornings weren't mornings if mothers didn't sing their favorite verses of Amazing Grace. In our village, days crashed recklessly into night. Constellations sang out light like fevered choir, and boys made circles and danced, and girls made circles and danced, and mothers kept rhythm with nodding heads, and babies smiled at the stars' kitschy coos, and it was never pitch black, it was never too dark, it was just brown. It was just right. In our village, everybody kept watch. and could scream loud enough to be heard a country mile, and could scatter 100 kids like spark fleeing fire. In our village, we all had magic, and disappearing was the least of our gifts. In our village, all the fathers, including mine as the story goes, all the mothers, all the grandmothers, all the grandfathers, all the aunties and uncles, all the brothers and the sisters, stood like before and again at the foot of this journey and cried until the world exhaled and breeze became mist. Amen.